All right, here we go. We're in the garage again today. We're going to be making the actual Bo Peep jigs. This is them before they get powder coated. I'm going to be pouring the 1/8 ounce and the 1/2 ounce primarily. I found out that we have gone through those at Blue Water pretty quickly. Those seem to be the favorite. So those are going to be the ones that I'm pouring, which is the first 2 cavities on this mold. I'm going to be pouring a 3rd one for a couple of times because I want to get that even smaller jig head going for some freshwater options that I'm going to be playing around with a little bit. This is our absolute smallest option in the Bo Peep jig. And so when it's sitting on the bottom, it goes up and then the orientation brings it down and leaves that paddle tail with a lot of motion upright. And this is a Z-Man paddle tail lure that I have on here that I got out of the Monsterbass monthly box from last month. That's the Swim Z and the watermelon red. If you watched that video when I did that unboxing, that's what that comes from. So we're just about ready to go here with our first pour. And I am still using my little spoon with the vice grips for a ladle. I have not got the big ladle in yet. Well, Vladimir, I'm glad you like the U.S. We're pretty fond of it over here ourselves. But like I say, pour in the first 3 cavities, and welcome to the live stream as well. Glad you're here. You can see this wind is picking up. I've got the garage open. And these are the ones that we're going to be pouring for Blue Water. This one here in the 3/8 ounce is what I'm pouring to toss around and just see how it works. Doing some freshwater jigs with that as well. As always, I've got my hooks poured out here on the table so they're kind of easy to access. I put my clamp on there. I mentioned before, I don't know that the clamp is 100% necessary. I like it. It makes me feel like it's holding that mold together a little bit tighter. And then when I get these done, as usual, I am putting them up on my little pegboard there, keeping them separated. Because then that'll be the next thing that we do with these is once I get all my packs made up, and I've got to do, on my end, I've got to do like 30 packs. My brother's going to be doing 30 packs himself. So we got to do a total of 60 packs to replenish the order there. But after we get them all made up, the next video that I make, I'll actually be pouring the powder coat on, or not pouring it on, putting the powder coat on and baking it in the oven if you watch those videos. So I'm pretty new to all of this, honestly, but I just got this lead melting pot here where I dip it out. My brother has the pot that I initially started with, which is the one that drips out. You pull the lever and it drips out. So we're gonna see. He's gonna play around with that a little bit, see if he likes it, and if not, we're both gonna go to this this style here, which for me, doing the lives and messing around on the camera and everything, it is a little bit easier for me to not have to deal with the lead dripping. So we just let those kind of cool down a little bit. You don't have to wait a real long time before you pull them out. I'm not doing anything with these things immediately afterwards. So they've got plenty of time to cool on the shelf. And I said I was going to be introducing some new stuff that we've got coming. I was asked to make some 1/64th round jig heads. So I went ahead and I got that mold on its way. So we're going to be pouring those here probably starting next week. And we are going to be calling those the STC mini rounds. STC, of course, is for Southern Tide Chasers. I'm sure y'all get that part. And then the mini rounds is because that's exactly what they're going to be. Is they're the 1/64th round jig heads for doing like panfish and crappie jigs. So another thing that we're going to get into doing is these little river lead weights. They're a flat weight. It's just a round flat weight with a spot at the top to tie to, a piece of brass or something. And they are apparently my nephew's favorite weight to use out at the river because it really holds the weight down and doesn't allow it to move around so much. So we're going to be getting that mold as well and be doing some of those. We don't quite have a catchy little name for those yet, but that's something that's coming as well. And we're going to have all this if you end up making it to our tournament coming up next month. We're going to have all this stuff down there. So, and I just saw earlier that one of the other YouTubers, he's on the list of people to come, which is Living Life Daily with Jay. He's already said that he's going to do his best to come down for the tournament. He's going to have his merch there as well. And I believe Crappie Kid is going to be making an appearance down there as well. What are you doing? We are making Bo Peep jig heads. I am melting lead and pouring it into this mold. And then once I get all my packs made up, I take, and I have several colors here that I do, but I also have videos where we powder coat the jig heads as well. Matter of fact, I'm about to pull these out of the mold and I can show you exactly what we're doing. So right there is what these jig heads look like when they come out of the mold. I just cut that little piece off. And the stuff that we cut off goes right back into the pot to be melted down again. And then I just load the mold up again and we start over. I have a really small jig that we can make, but I haven't really got into production on those yet. We haven't had any real need for it. And guys, if anybody wants any of these jigs, you can go check. You know, we have not only an Etsy store, but also Southern Tide Chasers is on Amazon as well. Dang, burnt myself. You can go check us out at either one of those, and you can buy directly from us there, or you can contact us on Southern Tide Chasers at Gmail, and we can get everything set up through that. But if you go through Amazon or through the Etsy store, it's probably a little bit better all the way around for everybody. So here we go. We'll pour another 3. I'm going to take those vice grips off for just a short period of time because that is starting to get fairly warm. That's the benefit if I would get the actual ladle for doing this. It won't heat up quite as fast, because something I do a lot is burn myself with this stuff. And I've mentioned before, I preheat the mold so that way when the lead goes in there, it's not cooling off as soon as it touches the metal. It's staying hot and it's pouring evenly throughout. It just makes the pour come out a little bit better. And once you run 1 or 2 passes through this thing, it doesn't need to be preheated anymore. It stays pretty warm. If you see me jerk my hand back a while ago, burning myself. And something that you want to be mindful of is lining your hooks up properly. You can get them a little bit misaligned, and then it doesn't quite pour right. I have a few up here. You can kind of see that one. It did not pour the whole way. That was a combination of things. Most likely the mold wasn't quite warm enough, but also the hook could have been misaligned and just got it in the arrangement a little bit wrong. But those are easy enough. You just take and you can melt those back down and start over. That's all there really is to it. And a slight constant worry of burning yourself. Definitely want to keep your area kind of free from other people. Stuff like that could be running around and give you some problems, because if that right there spills, that's a trip to the hospital, I can guarantee you. But like I said, the stuff I cut off goes right back in. It could be melted all over again. What I'm putting in here is in the 2 smaller cavities, I'm putting a number 1 hook, and then in the bigger cavity, I'm putting an actual 1/0 hook in there. A little bit of size difference, but it makes a difference. And like I said, I've got to make up 30 packs of these. I'm not going to make them all right here on the live. And then I've got to do the blaze orange and the white powder coat, because my brother over on his end is going to be doing the chartreuse green and the chartreuse yellow. His powder is supposed to be in either today or tomorrow, so he's going to start making stuff on his end, helping out. I will get that other ladle device in here in a little bit, later on down the road, so I can do this a little bit faster, a little bit easier, but this is working for the time being. And I had mentioned on some of my other videos that Monsterbass has already sent out their stuff for the tournament. Really good looking stuff. So that should be in anytime now. I'm waiting to hear back from both Flogrown and 𝐾𝐨 on the stuff they're sending out. They have pledged to send stuff out for the event, so hoping that's still the case. I've had no indications that it wouldn't be, so. And all the stuff that they send out, I've mentioned before, we're going to be using that in the kids events. We're going to be doing prizes for the youth there. That way the adults are out trying to win money at the competition. We can take some of the younger ones and let them have some fun and win some prizes as well. As soon as we get the mold in for the mini rounds, I'm definitely going to do a live where I pour just those mini rounds, because those are going to be sold. We are strictly doing a 1/64 size, and those are going to be sold in a 25 pack. Strictly in a 25 pack right now until we get ramped up on everything. But like I've said before, they're going to be available contact us directly or go to the little Etsy shop or over to the Amazon shop. I don't know how long the little Etsy thing is going to be going. It was just something they sent me. They sent me a deal to do it, and I figured, why not? I don't know how many people that are on Etsy are going to be going over there to buy jig heads, but we'll see. And I'm willing to put them in front of as many eyes as I can. Really kind of hate using these vice grips with this little spoon. But for now, it is the easiest way I can come up with to do this. That glare, it's hard to see how many people are on here watching. But if you have any questions, like I mentioned in the title, I have no problem taking questions on the little STC mini rounds or the river weights that we're going to be producing, or even on the Bo Peep jigs. This has been our primary thing that I get on here and do. But like we're constantly looking at getting more molds to do more stuff, along with doing our affiliate videos. And at some point, I'm going to get out and go do some fishing videos as well. It's just, that's the process over and over. As we pour some, we let those sit. I come over here, cut that little piece of slag off, and then we start the process over again. And I hope everybody is enjoying these lives. I'm slowly trying to get the handle of this. I'm definitely very, very new to doing the lives, but it was something new for when I'm out here and I'm doing these jigs, so I can come out here and get in front of the camera and talk with everybody and talk through the process of what I'm doing. And it's just another thing, like I said, to get out here and get in front of the camera. I'm going to be out here in the garage anyway. It's going to be a learning curve when we start doing the little mini rounds as well, because this is the only thing that I've poured is these particular jig heads. So we're going to see how it goes when we start pouring something much smaller. And I would be interested if anybody has any interest in these little setups as well for doing these paddle tail lures or a worm, any sort of soft bait, and using the Bo Peep jig in that style. I'm going to have to modify, or not really modify, it's just clean out the one side of this mold. It looks like something's got in there. Might be keeping the hook pushed up just a little bit. And something that you have to kind of keep an eye on as well is when you're pouring this stuff, if you get the ladle too cool, or if you get some stuff up on top and you're not cleaning that out and it doesn't pour quite right into that opening on the mold, you also end up with jig heads that are not usable. So there's some little things that you've got to keep an eye on when doing this. It's not difficult, but if you're not paying attention, you could definitely cause yourself some issues, or you're just wasting time. You're pouring a bunch of bad jigs that you can't use. You also want to be careful throwing your old stuff back in there. I had think it was just yesterday. I came out here and I poured some. I didn't get the camera on or nothing, but I threw a piece back in there, and a hot chunk of lead popped out and got me right below the eye. That's what it was on this mold. A piece of lead got in there and was holding the hook up. Definitely something to keep an eye out for. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm just letting the spoon get this hot lead on it, heat the little spoon up a bit so this lead pours out of here evenly. And we make these things in a pack of 4 when it comes to these particular jigs. So that's why a pack of 30, you're actually making 120 jig heads. So it takes a little while to get out here and pour all those jig heads constantly. But it's all in all, it's not that difficult. It's a lot of fun too. It's pretty relaxing getting out here and kind of just going through the motions, getting this stuff done. And they, of course, sell bigger molds than what I've got. There's definitely much better equipment to do this stuff with. This is my start out. We will upgrade as we go, especially if they keep selling in Blue Water and the other stores like they are. We're going to have to upgrade and get better stuff as we go. Ideally, every pour would come out perfect, but of course that doesn't ever happen. So, like I mentioned before, if you get one that, like this, didn't turn out right, it's easy enough just to melt that lead back off of it. You can clean that hook up and start again, or you can just throw that hook away and you've recycled your lead at the very least. I mentioned it before, my pet peeve is having an eyelet that has gunk in it and makes it hard to tie. So unless the hook cleans off really, really well, I tend to just throw those things away and grab a new one. Which, all in all, not well you can see that, but that one cleaned off pretty well. Excited for my brother to get out there in his shop and start making these things himself. Like I said, his son had already mentioned about don't set the hot lead on power cord. But his son had already mentioned about making the round river weights. So I've got the mini rounds mold coming in. So the very next mold we were going to buy, like I had mentioned before, is going to be that river weight mold. On that flag. 45 minutes. We're going to pour these for another 15 minutes, and then that'll be the end of it for today. And like I'd mentioned, the next time I get on here, we'll go through the process of powder coating them, the orange and the white. Most likely by that time we'll have some more updates. All right, sorry about that. Like we're going to cut this a little bit short because wife just called. She's on her way. And we are going to one of her cousins' little art deal this afternoon. So I'm going to have to go in and get cleaned up and ready to go to that thing. So I don't know if you caught that on camera. Just had a big splash with the lead there. I'm going to turn this off and let it start cooling down. This stuff takes a long time to cool down too. Something you kind of have to be mindful of. There's roughly 5 pounds of lead in that machine right there that's got to cool off. So it takes a little bit of time to dissipate that heat even after you've turned it off. So that's going to do it for today. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. And like I said before, the next time we get on here, I'll be powder coating all these jig heads to get that the next round of jigs ready to go out to all the stores so we can keep up with the orders on that. But so we're ramping things up. My brother's got his stuff in. Don't be afraid to hit us up on Southern Tide Chasers at Gmail. Go over to the Amazon store or even check out the Etsy store. It's all under Southern Tide Chasers. You can also check us out on Southern Tide Chasers on Facebook. So there's tons of ways to get a hold to us. If you're interested in any of this stuff, just let us know. If you're in the local area around Panama City, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 area, we do have the tournament coming up May 3rd. So hope to see a lot of people there. We're going to have youth events with plenty of youth prizes as well. So don't be afraid to bring the young ones out, and everybody will have a good time. So, until then, see y'all next time.